Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/Entitled Parents. In today's episode, EM gets mad when I tell her that she can't walk her daughter at a private property. Angry stepfather tries to make pregnant me climb a ladder. Free school supplies and free lunch isn't good enough. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. EM gets mad when I tell her that she can't walk her daughter at a private property. My 22F cousin, 22F, and her family have a beautiful property. Her mom would babysit me during the summers, so I basically grew up there. There are 3 houses with all of her dad's close family living there, which surrounds a big pond. There is a small boat dock, a tennis court, and a pavilion. It's surrounded by forest except for the entrance. It is a totally private property, which means that they have big signs at the front of the entrance that says "No trespassing." There is also another street sign halfway down the road that says "No trespassing." Her and her family get really annoyed when random people come walking down their property and just ignore the signs. To get to the property, you have to go down a sorta long road that goes past a few buildings. When you first turn into the road, there is a Wawa. Americans who live in NJ, PA, MD, or VA, let me know if you know what that is. It's a deli shop/convenience store that has amazing food and coffee, a small strip mall, and an apartment complex. I lived in that complex for about a year, which is when this took place. Sorry about the long description, I just hope that this will give you a good enough picture of the area. Now on to the story. When I moved into that apartment complex, I asked my cousin if I could walk my dog around her property. She of course gave me permission. One day after I was done walking my dog around the pond, I was leaving through the front gates, which again had the "Enti" signs. I saw this random woman walking with her young daughter down towards the entrance, who I have never seen before. I politely asked her if she knew the family who lived there, and she said no. I then pointed at the big sign and I said, "Sorry, it says no trespassing." She then gave me an annoyed face and said, "Well, you were just on their property," and I replied, "Yes, I was, and I know the family. I am related to them and they gave me permission to go down there." She said, "Well, my daughter wants to go down there, are you saying that she can't explore?" I replied, "If it means that you are trespassing, then yes, I am saying that you and your daughter can't go exploring there." She finally gave out a big, annoyed huff and turned to her daughter and said, in a very rude tone, "Sorry honey, this lady won't let us go down there," and they finally turned around and started walking back. I felt like it would be awkward if I started to walk behind them back to my apartment, so I turned around and just walked my dog around the pond one more time and then left after that. The next day I was with my cousin and I told her about the entitled mom, and she thanked me. She said how annoyed she gets when random people show up. I can relate because I also have a property with "No trespassing" signs, yet people still walk down it. Honestly, it's probably the most ignored street sign in America. If I am ever in a position to need to put up "No trespassing" signs, I think I'm just going to go with bomb testing site or active shooting range signs. Sorry, honey, your mom thinks the rules don't apply to her and she blames other people for her shortcomings. In another post I made a comment about this story, very shortened but the same thing. Some guy replied and was like, "Why wouldn't you let the girl enjoy the property? She's just a kid," and he continued on about how people have private beaches that they don't use and how it sucks for people who want to go on the beach or whatever. That comment actually made me want to make this post, see how other people felt about it. I'm glad everybody is on my side, lol. If you go onto my profile and look on comments, you'll probably find it. I remember reading a story where a farmer had a part of his land between 2 buildings and people who parked there despite the "No trespassing" signs. He got fed up one day and decided to take his tractor that has the blades to turn up soil and run it in between the rows. The people who tried to leave got stuck. Everyone had to be towed. After that, he kept that part with the soil deeply turned. It made parking impossible. I'd be tempted to put up signs saying 5G irradiation testing area. By passing this point, you give consent for Big Pharma to harvest your DNA for any and all research purposes. For all the crazies a sign like that would keep out, I just feel like there would be just as many who would find it so enticing they did it anyway. Something tells me that the best way to keep these people out would be to post a sign that says Airborne Vaccine Testing Area. Gotta love how entitled parents like to throw around the "this person says we can't do the thing we aren't supposed to do" when they're caught doing something they shouldn't. It's never their fault. How dare you hold them accountable in front of their children? /s. Put up a sign that says, "Trespassers will be shot. Survivors will be mauled by guard dogs." Honestly, my mom lives across the street from riverfront property where legally you cannot prevent people from accessing the water, but you can prevent people from using your dock. There's no trespassing signs everywhere and people ignore them. One time a lady let her 2 small kids get on this boat parked at a private dock and used the boat cover as a trampoline until they tore it. Not only was that an expensive fix, but the river has a very strong current, and if the kids fell into the water, they'd be gone. Super entitled and ignorant mother. Angry stepfather tries to make pregnant me climb a ladder. So my stepfather likes to garden. I do not. They have lots of fruit trees and a vegetable patch. I hate ladders. Always have. I can now climb with only some anxiety, when I used to get a panic attack getting 2 rungs up. And I'm also 16 weeks pregnant with twins. My mother is injured and stepfather is disabled, so he asked me to go pick some tomatoes and plums. When we got outside, he said he'd get the ladder. I said I don't think I should be climbing 1-. He cuts me off and tells me to stop being dramatic as he will hold it. He starts to unfold it and I say, in a calm voice, I'm really not comfortable climbing a ladder. He full on yells at me to just drop everything and go home then. I remain calm, I'm a teacher, I deal with tantrums all the time, and tell him I'm not saying that. He yells at me the same thing and to just leave him to do it all. He has fallen multiple times. I told him I couldn't in case he fell. We don't speak as he drops plums into a bucket. He then ditches me and goes inside to pout and tattle to my mother. He tells her that I had a fit about being asked to climb a ladder. Her only response? Swaded doesn't climb ladders. You know that. Update, he has calmed down and sent an apology text. I haven't replied yet. How old is this man? Sounds like a toddler being told no. That's exactly what he's like. Why spend time around someone like that? Take your mom elsewhere to spend time with her. He really isn't all bad. The man helped get me into uni and raised 2 kids that weren't his. But today was rough with him. Plus my mother is injured right now and pretty housebound. You shouldn't be climbing ladders while pregnant. Sounds like some of how he spoke to you is frustration at his own limitations. Could be not hire someone to pick the fruit he wants. It sounds like the ladder is dangerous for you, him, and mom. Have you thought about getting a tool for him to get the fruit out of the tree? We have one for the apples, but the plums are too squishy for it. I'll take a recommendation if you have one. Free school supplies and free lunch isn't good enough. I helped volunteer at a local giveaway for back to school. It was from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We gave almost 1,000 backpacks with school supplies based on elementary, middle, and HS. Had a wide variety of backpacks stuffed with scissors, crayons, notebook paper, spirals, pencils, pens, etc. Kids could choose what backpack they wanted, then go eat, get a haircut, voucher for clothes, and choose a toiletries kit for home. I own a restaurant, so I provided 2 tacos for each child. A sandwich shop provided ham or turkey and cheese sliders and chips. Kids had a choice of water or Capri Sun. Everyone is having a good time. Bouncy castles. Popcorn. Stickers. Then the late moms show up at 1:30. Super pissed their precious ones can choose from solid color backpacks instead of cartoon or superhero ones. That's not fair. You should have gotten a bigger variety. Asked why we were so cheap as to buy 16-count crayons instead of bigger ones. It is what the school requested. My favorite was asking why we didn't have pizza like we did last year. They decided to donate quite a bit of money instead of pizza. But our kids are allergic to sliders and tacos. And they can't drink water without getting sick. So they can eat the flour crust on pizza, but not the flour in the sliders or the flour tortillas? Silence. Left screaming about how we need to be fired. Can't drink water? Who the F can't drink water? That child would be dead. Edit, so I looked it up. Water allergy is apparently a very rare thing. The rarest allergy, or water exposure, causes hives. There are about 50 known cases. However, these people can drink water. Feeling sick from drinking water is not this allergy. According to the 5 minutes of research, I research for a living, so I'm quite good at it. Feeling nauseous or sick from drinking water is not an allergy but an intolerance to not the water but the condition of the water. It can be caused by any number of things, including your stomach not tolerating the temperature difference, additives in the water, electrolytes dropping in your body, etc. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. P.S. As someone who has an intolerance to gluten, I 100% understand saying it's an allergy cause it's way easier than explaining LOL. Our town had problems with the backpacks showing up FB Marketplace. And the event I was at had some people who came back after a couple of hours for another go. Now they stamped the kids' hands. I guess the plan was backpack and school supplies for me, and backpack and school supplies for FB Marketplace. The entitlement is unreal. My office volunteered to give a struggling family, the charity matched us with them, presents for the holidays and got them lots of nice stuff. The next day they came in our office screaming and throwing the gifts at us. They weren't good enough for them. I left a year later, but I don't think they volunteered for that again for a long time and then decided to gift anonymously. One year we decided to buy gifts for a family and then saw the post on FB where the adults were complaining about the gifts given to them. I knew it was us, and not just a coincidence since one of the gifts was specific for my then husband's tattoo shop and they were mad the gift certificate wasn't for more. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share, and we will see you in the next video.